Hello everyone, welcome to Geeta's classes. Hope all of you are safe in this pandemic. So today we are going to see linear combination of random variables. I'll give you some example, real life examples. Consider a toll booth and X represents the number of cars crossed the toll booth, number of cars for X. And let us assume capital Y as the number of trucks crossed on a particular day. Let Z represents the number of jeeps crossed the toll booth on a particular day. Okay. So if I want to evaluate the total revenue collected on a particular day in this booth, what will you do? Actually, for every car we may charge around 150 rupees, assume that, and for trucks around 250 rupees if you are charging, and for jeeps 100 rupees, like this. Then what will you do? If you want to calculate the total revenue, then 150 should be multiplied by this capital X, number of cars crossed. Okay, so plus 250 rupees multiplied by trucks, that is Y, then into Y, okay, 250 into Y, plus 100 into Z for jeeps, right? So this will give you the linear combination. Why we are using this linear combination? To evaluate this total revenue on a particular day. Okay, so we are assuming some constants here, constants for this X, Y, Z, and we are considering X power 1, Y power 1 and Z power 1. That is why it is called linear combination. These variables are multiplied by some constants A1, A2, A3, like that. Then we are taking the summation. Okay, so this is called the linear combination because it is power 1 only. Take another example. Let us consider one diagnostic center. We have different tests in the diagnostic centers, right? So let us assume CTC scan is there, ECG, X-ray, corona test, like that. So many different tests are available. So let us consider these 4 tests are available in a particular diagnostic center. Okay. So if you want to find out the total collection on a particular day, what will you do? How much we are charging? Suppose if you have A1 is the charge for CT scan, then A1 should be multiplied by X1. Similarly, for ECG, A2 amount, then A2 into X2 plus A3 into X3 plus A4 into X4. So this is called the linear combination. Okay. So now we are going to see if you take more than 2 variables, more than one random variable, we are going to see the linear combination of the variables. We are going to prove some more theorems. So mean and variance of linear combination of random variables. First theorem, if A and B are constants, then E of Ax plus B is equal to A into E of X plus B actually. This is for single variable only. So, and it can be proved either for both discrete and continuous. Okay, I will prove for discrete now. So by definition, E of expectation, mathematical expectation, what will you do? If you have X here, you will write X here. So here Ax plus B we have. So Axi plus B, I varies from 1 to n, okay, into Pi, right? So this is equal to sigma I varies from 1 to n Axi Pi plus B into Pi. So this is equal to, again, A can be taken outside because it is independent of I, no I in A. So A can be taken outside of this sigma, and Xi Pi plus B into sigma I varies from 1 to n Pi. Okay. So this is equal to A into, what about this value without A? What is this? Expectation of X, right? E of X plus. What about this value? It will become 1 because total probability. Sigma I varies from 1 to n Pi. It is total probability. So it is A into E of X plus B. Okay. We started with E of Ax plus B and we have proved that this is A into E of X plus B. And we have corollary. Corollary means what? What is some results derived from the theorem. Okay. Theorem's result. So if in the theorem, if you substitute Ax is equal to 0, this will become 0, this will become 0. So E of B is equal to B you will get. Similarly, if you assume b is equal to 0 in this theorem, what will happen? E of ax. This will become E of ax only. And a into E of x in the right hand side. Because b is equal to 0, this will get vanished. Okay. Next theorem. E of g of x plus or minus h of x is equal to E of g of x plus or minus E of h of x. So let us take the left hand side. That is expectation of sum or difference of two random variables is equal to their sum or difference of their expectations separately. Okay. So E of g of x plus or minus h of x, this is in the left hand side. We have to prove the right hand side. You can take either the discrete or continuous. You can prove for both. Okay. Let us take now continuous. In the previous one we have taken discrete. Now we will take continuous. So minus infinity to plus infinity. Whatever you have here. So g of x plus or minus h of x into f of x dx. Right. So this can be written as integral minus infinity to plus infinity. By using the definition of integration, we can write separately. Suppose if you have x plus x squared plus x into dx, you can write it as x squared dx plus integral x dx. You can separate. This is the rule in integration. Okay, using that we can write g of x into f of x dx plus or minus integral minus infinity to plus infinity h of x into f of x dx. What is this one? The first term is g of x f of x dx. So it is expectation of g of x plus or minus expectation of this is h of x. Please remember, if you write plus here, you should write throughout plus only. Okay, you are not supposed to write plus here and minus here. Okay, if it is plus, throughout plus. If you write minus, it is true for all minus only. Okay, don't mix them. Right. Next theorem, g of, now we have two variables, E of g of x comma y plus or minus h of x comma y. So this is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity. Now we have two variables, right? So two integrals, integral minus infinity to plus infinity. Whatever is here, again the rule for E is the same. Whatever is here, you have to write g of x comma y plus or minus h of x comma y into f of x comma y into dx dy. Okay. We will write all small letters here because inside the function, no, in you can write. So this is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity g of x comma y into f of x comma y into dx, sorry, integral minus infinity to plus infinity, both the integrals you have to write into dx dy plus integral minus infinity to plus infinity. I am separating this again. So h of x comma y into f of x comma y into dx dy. Okay. What is this one? The first one is g of x comma y into f of x comma y dx dy. This is nothing but expectation of g of x comma y. That is the first term. Plus or minus. What is the second term? H of x comma y into f of x comma y. So this is nothing but E of h of x comma y. We started with E of g of x comma y plus or minus h of x comma y. This is equal to, we have proved this. This is what you wanted to prove, right? E of g of x comma y plus or minus h of x comma y is equal to, we have proved this, E of g of x comma y plus or minus E of h of x comma y. Okay. Now corollary, if you substitute g of, in the place of g of x comma y, if you substitute g of x alone, that is a marginal function of g of x. Okay. Marginal distribution of x. Similarly, marginal distribution of y alone. This is h of x comma y is h of y. Then you can prove this. This is equal to plus or minus g of x and here h of y. Instead of g of x comma y, you have g of x alone in the first one. Similarly, in the second one, instead of h of x comma y, you have h of y alone. Okay. Similarly, instead of function, if you take a single variable, capital X and capital Y, then this will become e of x plus or minus y is equal to e of x plus or minus e of y. Okay. Next is, if x and y are two independent random variables, then e of xy is equal to e of x into e of y. What is the definition for a statistically independent function? F of x comma y is equal to g of x into h of y. If you can prove like this, then x and y are independent. Okay. So here x and y are independent, they have given. You have to prove that e of xy is equal to e of x into e of y. So this is equal to, by definition, I'll consider here, this is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity, minus infinity to plus infinity. Here we have xy, so I'll write xy into f of x comma y into dx dy. Right? What do you know? What is given? F of x comma y are independent. Therefore, we know f of xy is equal to g of x into h of y. So, this is equal to, I'll write here, one second. So, we have e of xy is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity, minus infinity to plus infinity, xy into f of x comma y into dx dy, right? Now we have f of x comma y. In the place of this, I can write it as g of x into h of y. So this can be written as minus infinity to plus infinity, minus infinity to plus infinity, x into y into g of x into h of y into dx dy, because using this, right? So this is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. I'll take this ex, g of x, because they are independent variables now, into dx, right? Into integral minus infinity to plus infinity y into h of y into d of y. I can write them separately. This is nothing but e of x. This is x into. Similarly, here y into. So e of y. We started with e of xy. This is equal to e of x into e of y. That is what we wanted to prove. Okay. So next is important theorem. If x and y are random variables with a joint probability distribution f of x comma y, then you have to prove this. Variance of ax plus y is equal to this result. Okay. Covariance comes whenever you have two different variables. Okay. X and y. X minus this is nothing but e of x minus x bar, the whole square, sorry, x bar into y minus y bar. Okay, expectation of x minus x bar into y minus y bar is our covariance of this. You just recollect these things. So now consider LHS is equal to variance of ax plus by. By definition, you can write this as expectation of ax plus by minus mu of ax plus by the whole square. See, if you have variance formula is what? Variance of x is equal to e of x minus x bar the whole square, or x minus mu the whole square, you can see. Right? So in the place of x I have ax plus by, therefore I am writing this, and this is mu representing ax plus by. It is not just mu for a single variable, it is mu for ax plus by, right? So this is equal to, and now you consider this mu ax plus by. Mu ax plus by is, by definition, it is e of ax plus by. This is again the linear combination of these variables. Just now we have proved this in the first theorem. So a into e of x plus b into e of y. Or you can say this is a into, for our convenience, I'll write it as a into mu x plus b into mu y. Okay. Just substitute in this equation. So variance of, we started with ax plus by is equal to expectation of ax plus by minus mu of ax plus by the whole square, that can be written as a into mu x plus b into mu y. So a into mu x plus b into mu y the whole square. Okay, now just rearrange these things. Expectation of, I'll consider this ax and a mu x. So a can be taken outside, x minus mu x, right? Plus, and consider by and b mu y. By minus b mu y. So b can be taken outside, y minus mu y, the whole square. Now apply the formula a plus b the whole squared formula. So expectation of a squared into x minus mu x the whole squared plus b squared into expectation of y minus mu y the whole squared plus 2ab into ab into expectation of x minus mu x into y minus mu y, right? What about this one? A squared can be taken outside now. So a squared into expectation of this a squared, I can write it outside. A squared into expectation of this. So what is this expectation of x minus mu the whole squared means what? Variance of x. This is nothing but variance of x plus b squared into variance of y plus 2ab into, just now I have given this explanation, that is covariance. Whenever you have more than one variable, we will talk about the covariance of x comma y. This is what you wanted to prove, right? We started with variance of ax plus by and we have proved this. And we have some corollaries also. If x and y are independent random variables, we know if they are independent, they are no way related. So covariance of x comma y will be equal to 0. This I have explained with example in your covariance topic. One particular video is there on covariance topic. Okay, if you go through that, you will understand why they are 0, when they are 0, when they have covariance value you will have. Okay, so here they are independent means covariance will be equal to 0. Therefore, the third term will get vanished. So you will get ax squared plus a squared into variance of x plus b squared into variance of y only. Again, even if you have, instead of ax plus by, if you have ax minus by, again you will not get minus here, because if you replace b by minus b in the previous result, what will happen? B squared will become minus b the whole square. It will become plus b squared. Okay, that is why even if you have minus here, please remember, in the problem, while doing problem, you will get these things. So even if you have ax minus by, you will get b squared here. It is not minus b squared, it is plus b squared only. Okay. So similarly, it can be extended for n independent variables. If x1, x2, etc., xn are independent random variables, then variance of this is equal to variance of a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus etc. an xn is equal to this one. Okay. And we'll do some problems in the next live class. Thank you so much. Thank you.